I screwed up the first time. I'm I pressed start instead of load. So yeah, I'm gonna continue again. Hopefully I don't fuck it up this time. I most likely will. May 14th, Friday, 9:30 p.m. I was in this tiny coffee shop, and already I'm fucking it up. Tiny coffee shop at the train station. Staff were shouting, and some generic jazz tune was playing. The dull, heavy sounds of a train on the tracks thundered over everything. I carefully raised the coffee cup to my lips, making sure I didn't spill anything on my suit. The coffee was bitter, making me think snooty thoughts for a second about mouthfeel and aftertaste. But I was no coffee connoisseur, and neither was I used to wearing a suit. My head was heavy and listless with the weight of so much training. But the coffee seemed to help a little. Training of what? Mitsuguchi, I think I really screwed up. The man sitting opposite me. Ugh! He and I had a lot in common. We were both 22. We both just graduated from college. We'd both just been employed in the same company. We sat in neighboring cubicles. No surprise, really, that we'd become buddies. He had this annoyingly high-pitched laugh. Other than that, our stories had pretty much been the same, his and mine. Up until now, that was. He was gripping a cup of cafe a lot. But instead of drinking it, he stared and spoke at the liquid surface, as if he was a condemned man faced with the weight of his own crimes. For some reason, I could not bear this sight. I had to avert my gaze, so instead I looked up into a warmly lit fluorescent light. The coffee shop was bright and noisy. Everything was chaotic, but nothing could block out the clarity of his words. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't hate the company. Obviously I don't hate you guys. His head was bowed. His hair had hit his fucking thing. It's a bit more complicated than that. I mean, all the stuff we've done is neat, but I've never once felt anything resembling excitement about it. I just let him speak, interjecting with hmms and I sees as appropriate. How do I... Mostly, I guess I'm scared now. Staying on with this company, coming here every day for the next 40 years, I can't see that at all. I just can't. You know what makes things worse? It's not like I have some big dream, some ideal that makes me go, no matter what, I am going to live for this. I am empty. It's just, I keep thinking that I should be more careful, more serious. For the first time in 20 minutes, he took a sip of his coffee. To put it bluntly, even if I were to find another job, I don't think it would turn out any better. In fact, this company was probably the best possible place for me. Whoa! This has nothing to do with wages, or how I was treated, or anything stupid like that. There was something very important to my life that I found at this corporation. He brought his coffee cup to his lips. His face wrinkled for a moment, and he muttered something about it being bitter. Then he put in the sugar and cream that he obviously forgot earlier this morning. He swirled his coffee. Our silence swirled about us. I know I'm repeating myself, Mizuguchi, but I have to tell you, I really screwed up. Maybe we'll meet again in 10 years' time. I swear to you, you won't recognize me. There will be a great difference between us. But until then, I'm sure I'll be stuck in my own personal hell, agonizing over this sunken regret. Dude, we're just in McDonald's. Calm the fuck down. Next to me sat a 50-something salaryman in a business suit. He lit a cigarette. The smell of loneliness approached me. stung in my nostrils. So maybe I'm just running away from my tail between my legs. You know what's funny? Throughout high school, college, I thought I knew how this story ended. Now, suddenly, I realize I don't, and I'm scared. That's why I'm jumping off this train that we're all on. He slid a piece of paper across the table. It was a paper of resignation with his name on it. Just a piece of paper. It should have been as light as day, but at that moment, it was heavier than anything Oh, he's talking about the paper. Mizuguchi. For the first time that day, he looked up, straight into my eyes. I hope you never end up like me. The words were weighty, crooked, dark with inner reflection, and they were blasts of truth. And they were blasts of truth from the heart that they knew there was something terribly wrong with the world it found itself in. He was so serious, so unlike the man I knew. I only had one question for him. I was gonna do a voice, but I don't want to. Your attention, please. The northbound train is now arriving at track 3. The train glided into the station and stopped at its appointed place. A smattering of people wearing a smattering? What the fuck is the word a smattering? A smattering? A smattering of people wearing the same suits. A smattering swarmed towards the cars. He walked into the train. It was not the one he usually took. He gave a quiet see ya as he boarded. He waved at me. I couldn't even find any words. A pathetic smile was all I could manage. This was someone I'd probably never see again. Not for the rest of my life. It was too cold to tell him farewell forever. It was too much a lie to say, see you again. The train doors slid shut, as if sighing. And then it left the platform, bound for some faraway destination. I walked along the platform, a space now suddenly devoid of time and tempo, like a drummer out of the rhythm with the rest of the world. If you really think you've screwed up that badly, then why are you quitting our company? He looked at me straight in the eye for a time. It seemed like forever. Then he gave me his answer, an answer both of misery and determination. Because I can still do something about it. I stood on the platform opposite where he has been and waited for the train. I had this briefcase that I had taken to all my interviews. I was still using it. Today felt heavy, like a sinking sunset. Though it was night, the train station was bright as day, and all I could see outside were the stirring lights of the city and the shadows of passing people. And no matter how hard I looked, I could not make out a single star in the midnight sky. May 15th. That's kind of depressing. May 15th, Saturday, 5:30 p.m. I can't fucking read for shit. So what? Why should I care? Oh. Her statement made me imagine a wrecking ball, going through entire buildings without so much as a pause. I mean, there is so much offensive energy in it, and absolutely zero mercy. Minori, how should I put this? You're unbelievable. Let me guess, those absolutely aren't words of praise. I'd almost lost count of how many times I've come here to see the Kamiyake Shrine. But it was evening now, and the piano performance for the day was over. I'd started talking to Minori about what happened yesterday, hoping she'd understand a little bit about what was going on. But she doesn't care. This operation ended in a total failure. She rejected everything I said. I mean, come on, aren't you usually supposed to say a sympathetic thing or two? Isn't that what most people do? I'm not your most people. Unlike them, I don't like lying. Ugh. She looked dead serious when she said that. When she said spat these incredibly cruel words at me. I sighed, without intending to. Minori noticed and muttered, "You're welcome." That wasn't muttering. She muttered, "You're welcome!" And when I asked her, "Is that what you really think?" she repeated herself, this time with a bitter smile. "You're welcome." Oh, God. When that guy quit, it triggered something in me as well. The freshman blues I'd carried around with me, like some vague weight on me, now started to coalesce into a mass of suffocating anxiety. All of the doubts and questions I had about stepping to the brave new world of adulthood have now been taking shape. I didn't like the shape they formed. I couldn't point to a single thing that I was facing and say, "This is what's bothering me." And yet, in spite of that, yesterday's restless, unsettled feeling was turning me inside out. And while my little shoebox of an apartment was certainly a necessity in that thing I call my life, it didn't have any place where I can drop off these feelings, make them go away. I threw together breakfast, cleaned up, and shopped for necessities, and then, of course, I set off for the Kamiyake shrine as usual, telling myself the entire what? Well, what? It had nothing to do with seeing Minori. I just wanted to go there just for some rest and relaxation. And I hoped, a little bit, that Minori wouldn't be there, even though I knew that chances were she'd be there all right. In the end, when I drew near the shrine and saw Minori standing there, the tiny amount of hope I'd had vanished, only to be replaced by the feeling of crushing defeat. Do you not like her? Not like her, like, do you not like her presence? Like, do you tolerate her? I don't have any intention of quitting, and if any case, I don't think I've got the guts. Then just don't quit, silly. It's just that I feel like I'll never have this option again, that's all. Then just quit, silly. Ugh, my nostrils are so full. My throat. But it's not like I have a dream career or anything. If I quit, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Then just don't quit, silly. Minori, is my crisis or what am I to have for dinner tonight a more important question? Oh wait, is my crisis or what I'm going to have for dinner tonight a more important question? Dinner. I feel like a thin piece of bamboo that she just sliced in half with a single sharp stroke. Without exactly realizing it, I had been scanning the sky, looking farther and farther away. A weak wind blew past the shrine, sounding as listless as I felt. Minori, when you're listening to your other friends tell you their troubles, are you this nasty? Oh no, I see things like, "Oh, that's terrible," or I see, right on cue. Somewhere far away, a raven was screeching. The cars drove by the shrine. A single ray of a setting sun reflecting off something pierced my eye. I almost wanted to cry. And then I let out a sigh. Minori, then is it just what you hate me more than any... Is it just that you hate me more than anyone else? No, I just don't care. Yup. Her tongue was as sharp as her words were blunt. Definitely couldn't accuse her of lying. Not with those words. Oh, she yawned. When I stared up into the sky, looked for answers that weren't there, Minori just sat beside me and yawned, as if she really didn't care, alright. Well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I turned towards Minori, and I went at her with the force of every particle of irritation and annoyance within me that she was steadily ignoring. I jabbed her cheek with my index finger. She didn't look happy, but she didn't make any moves to get rid of my finger either. Okay, I hadn't planned on that reaction, or lack thereof. So there it was, finger on her cheek, both of us completely silent. Eventually, I decided that another moment of silence would drive me completely mad. Tapping rhythmically at her cheek, Minori instantly brought her fist down on my head. God damn! But that hurt. Ow. God damn! You know, sometimes you turn into a stupid little kid. She let out a deep sigh, like a mother bemoaning a completely helpless child. I'm a teenager at heart. I know, so grown up already. So here we actually had to... And here we had this actual teenager telling this teenage at heart to grow up already. She had to be making fun of me. There couldn't be any other explanation for this. Anyhow, after what I had done, it was too late to back out gracefully. Had to play it out at the end, to the end. Wow, I knew you were cold, but I didn't know that you were carved out of ice, of stone. I'll have you know that I'm thought of far and wide as a gentle and cute girl. When everyone lies to you about the cute part, that a girl, impressive punch, most impressive. You have a... okay. And they almost forgot to add violence to your list of charms. That's what you deserve for being so rude. Said the kind and warm and gentle and sweet and psychopathically demonically murderous girl with a pout on her face. Oh, come on. That all has to be some bad joke. Do you seriously expect me to sit here and console you? And what if I am? Then I'm leaving. She stood up quickly, but I managed to grab a hold of one of those ridiculously long white sleeves. Minori got up so quickly that I messed up her robe. She hurriedly rearranged the folds and whatnot. Wait a sec, Minori. 20% of everything I just said was a lie. Which means 80% was honest. No, out of that remaining 80%, 60% was just me teasing you. She got up again. I caught her again. That was a joke. Geez, you know, Mr. Miguchi, sometimes you really do seem like a bratty little kid. She said with a huge sigh, and slowly sat down again, with an extremely annoying expression on her face. Okay, fine. Tell me everything you want. Just do it quickly. Alright. Take a chug. It's gonna be a long one, boys. You don't look very happy about this. Because you're such a waste of time. Minori, I hope you're not ever dreaming of becoming a counselor. You drive your patients to wailing and gashing their... You'll drive your patients to wailing and gashing their teeth. Gashing? That's alright. You're my one and only patient. in my nightmares.
What the fuck?
The counselor had no intention to help. The patient had worn out with a string of anxieties.
Oh, my back.
Really, it was like we both were wallowing in lukewarm apathy. Shit. Well, to be honest, I honestly had no intention of coming to you for solace. Sure, my mood had sunk to a new low, but I didn't want to discuss these things with Minori. Who ever heard of going to a teenage girl for advice on being an unemployed adult? Exactly, no one. All I intended at the onset was to chat about what was going on in my life. It had just somehow gone out, turned into this whole thing. First of all, why are you bringing your troubles to someone like me anyway? Is it because you don't actually have any friends? No, that's not how it is. Aside from the people I grew up with, there was one guy in the company I could call a friend, but he had gone and quit on me yesterday. I really don't like talking with people about what's bothering them. I suck at it, and it's such a waste of time anyway. Oh, don't be such an ice queen. You know you love playing shrink. You're having so much fun that time flies like an arrow, and fruit flies like a banana. What? And May flies like you ought to drop dead. That guy's problems are his own. They have nothing to do with me. He should fucking die. No. He should just do as he pleases, if you ask me. You're defeating the entire point of counseling. Like I said, the choices that someone else makes is that someone else's responsibility. They've got to live with it, not you. So isn't it better to live your life as you want to? So what you're really saying is that you don't give a crap about whether I stay or quit my job. Yep, if you want to quit. But why not go ahead and just do that? Even the unemployed are still people, and they're still alive, aren't they?
No. No, they're not. They suck.
And just like that, Minori wrecked the blueprints and layouts and plans that I laid for my very life. It was like she breathed on a house of cards and brought the whole thing crashing down. When that happens, I think I'll take up residence at this shrine. Please, kindly take me in when that time comes. Oh my god, if that were to happen, just thinking about the mere possibility makes me want to break things with my fists. I'd never seen a girl with fists up and a wide grin before. First time for everything, I guess. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'd be stuck with you if you quit. Go and get him, Mr. Miyaguchi. Go get him, Mr. Miyaguchi. You can't quit. You gotta fight the good fight. Keep believing that good things will come to those who work hard. But there's a good, decent bone in your body, is there? I'm preparing to break every bone in your body, Mr. Miyaguchi. You're so violent! I'm into it. What was that about crossing what I wanted? Choosing what I wanted. Or say crossing. If you want a body full of broken bones, be my guest. Holy crap, she's hardcore. She's kind of hardcore. Well then, that totally remorseless grin on her face completely wiped out any fighting spirit I may have had. Ugh, you know what? Never mind. I don't care anymore. Oh, excellent. If you really don't care, then you might as well spit it out already. As long as you don't turn into a mental case on me, I'd be happy to listen to your foolishness. Great. So you've leveled my horrible crisis all the way down to foolishness. You can thank me later. This is the way life is, you know. Next time, when I've got something stupid to complain about, you'd better lend a sympathetic ear. Understand? Sure. Whatever. A sigh sank into my lungs as I sat in the sunlit courtyard. A little bit of the heaviness that had weighed down on my heart seemed to have evaporated by now, although in truth, the basic problem before me hadn't changed anything. I talked and talked and talked until I was blue in the face. It was all, and all Minori had done was listen. Well, actually, she hadn't listened at all. Oh yeah, right. Hey, Mr. Miyaguchi, did you ever watch that movie I told you about the last time? Of course, Minori was already on another subject, topics that she considered more important than a life-altering quarter-life crisis. The May sun was setting now, illuminating the stone steps and the Kamiya Kei shrine. I sat there chatting with this girl, one who could say, with an honest face, I don't care what you do with your life. If I discussed the situation with a random person, they would have thought I was scrambled in the brain pan. In the brain pan? What are you talking about? This whole thing was really that bizarre. And they would have been right too. This was the relationship that existed between us, physical violence and all, and perhaps I really was insane, because I did enjoy this so. More than strangers, less than friends. Each pursuing their own ends. Of each other thinking such. Of how much fun to talk so much. Why do you end with a poem? I should have felt it oh so strange. But sunset's glow was full of grace, and high May sky was so out of range. I felt wind whisper in my face. For silence ever did not change. I gave myself the May embrace. May was continuing. Chapter 2.5, maybe not. What comes between 2 or 3 of natural and irrational. Whatever that means. What's with me and violent girls? I did 3 visual novels where I was hanging out with some girls who just wanted to fuck me up. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I am sort of kind of into it. I don't know why that is. Maybe because they're very assertive. I think I like very assertive girls. And ones who are very aggressive. I don't like. I mean, I'm not into a dominatrix or anything. But like, I don't know. To me, that kind of just it's like it implies some sort of like forwardness, like they're taking an initiative to like go the extra step into like getting your business and all. I don't know how to explain it. It's like at that point they're so comfortable that they're gonna get physical. She obviously doesn't hate me at all, or this character, who I already forgot his name. I think it's more cheeky if anything. So it's not like a complete hatred, like some other visual novel I play. I forgot the name. Something very similar, where it was a very abusive relationship. This is just like it's just friendly. Her just us just abusing each other, like a mutual abuse, and we're just kind of into it. There had been I lost my train of thought. There had been a sale on Diacon radishes today. Okay. An ad in the paper posted a picture of a big, huge Diacon. The asking price, a mere 60 yen. When I knew that I didn't go. I knew if I didn't go, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. Like radishes. Result. Miyake was 1 in my room, 2 watching my TV, 3 busting a gut laughing. She in my what? Fuck his name. The aroma of a liver and chive stir fry, the 2 foods I dispensed the most in the universe, was stinking up my apartment. My body and field of vision were shuddering from Minore's constant thumping, and I was having a terrible feeling about it. She in my place now? To begin with, I love Deacon radishes. I have a very detailed list of my food preferences hierarchy. For instance, Diakon is below tuna rice balls, but above curry pilaf. I'm so uncultured, I don't know what that is. I love grated Diakon. I love steamed Diakon. I love Diakon in my Odin. What else does this guy have a fascinating? It was tuna too, as well. Tuna and Diakon. He just keeps going on and on. There were 10 or so little old ladies already there, and I swear they were tackling each other like football players in the last down. You're Japanese, you don't know what that is. And I decided to run in where angels fear to tread. A Diakon was delicious. A 60 yen Diakon root was an epic item, actually worth beyond reckoning. And for that combination, I was prepared to charge my way through a 2-meter thick wall of humans that separated me from my quest objective.
Engage hyperdrive. Oh!
Bitch! I slapped that old lady. I destroyed her. I tackled her down like, football player, Tom Brady. I don't watch football. I'm sorry. The Super Bowl, the Super Bowl is like in 2 days. That's the only time I watch football. A million billion bodies were brutally crushed by my body in every possible direction. Compared against this human trash compactor, a rush hour commuter train was roomy. Couldn't compare to at all. What the fuck am I saying? I summoned all of my strength and tried to push, struggle, wriggle. That word fucks me up. My way through. Not that there was even space to put one foot in front of another. I'd never before understood the way it suddenly hit me now. How 2 meters might as well have been 2 light years. The dynamics of the shoppers was like that of mechanized infantry entering the field of battle and, having secured their objective, retreating. Between them did exist openings, chunks in the armor of their formation, not that I succeeded in taking advantage of them. The first time a retreated armored tank took me with them. The second time, another one plowed me aside as it began invading. The third and final time I invoked the spirits of the kamikaze who had gone before me, with it or not. At this time, I made it. So this glorious, blissful rush was how it felt to stand at the summit of Mount Everest. I bit my tongue so that I wouldn't burst into a wild cheer. My top priority was still obtaining the objective after all. My eyes scanned and then locked in on a single, last, shining, huge Diakon left on the vegetable stand. That thing was unbelievably gigantic. Whoa! It was huge! O worthy one, thou mighty warrior, only by thine hand might the Diakon caliber be drawn, said the tottering little old guardian of the Diakon caliber who lived inside my delusional head. I dived on with every muscle in my body, kind of like a baseball player reaching out desperately for the safe haven of first base. It was enough to make me understand a shadow of what Kyoji Fujikawa must feel like on a daily basis. Dog! Then suddenly, my fingers came to rest on the Diakon. A Diakon. Am I saying that right? Diakon? Oh, my phone's dead. Fuck. Felt crisp and cold to the touch. A Diakon chilled by the winds of the season. My heart soared. My soul burst into song. For at last, the treasure of ages have come to my possession. If I were for the fact that another hand came from out of nowhere and grabbed my precious, with all my strength, I yanked my treasure up. So did the other hand. I roared out with all my righteous indignation at the wretch who dared trespass upon my treasure. I called her a wretch, holy shit. My precious. Mine! I feel like I'm reading a storybook to, like, stupid children. You. And there, wild-eyed, in a school uniform blazer, was none other than Miyako Miori Miyakai. Fuck my life, I can't pronounce that name. With her left hand grabbing my hard-wound Diacon. Meanwhile, my right arm was clutching a Diacon. It took me a second to recognize who the girl was, actually, since my mental concept of her did not include that uniform. Between our frigid stares, we could have frozen the damn Diacon. Ugh. The fluorescent lights. The fluorescent lights that have been meant to show off the vegetables on the stand, instead lit upon us like stage lamps. Sorry, I had to take a break. The fluorescent lights that were meant to show off the vegetables on the stand, yeah, instead lit upon us like stage lamps. I heard angry grannies screeching at us like harpies. And there was a hysterical, desperate sing-song advertisement for what her fish. Yep. So, you know how random encounters in dating games lead to romantic cutscenes? Well, crap, the real thing was one hell of a letdown. Took my elbow, almost inserted right in your temple. No way! I'm never gonna let go. You do it first. No freaking way that's gonna happen, dog. Taken in isolation, our dialogue could be no possible. Have passed for a conversation between two people who are violently in love with each other. Well, that is, if we were gripping each other's hands and unwilling to let go, not locked in freaking Mortal Kombat over a Diacon like we were now. I should probably look up how I pronounce that, because this guy has a fetish for Diacons. Why do you want to fuck a radish? I don't know. You want to fuck a tuna? We held our ground right down to the damn supermarket, staring into each other's eyes, burning passion for Diacon eyes. Despite being in public, we almost could have passed for a couple. In the mad throes of passion, all right. Lol. You're 22. She's still in high school. That's pretty crazy. That's a little creepy, dog. I don't know about that, dog. I don't know about that. There's an age gap right there. That is, if we weren't playing tug of war with the Daikon, and we weren't glaring daggers at each other. Right. Otherwise, we could have passed for a couple in a TV drama or something. The battle for the 60 yen Daikon went another 10 minutes of stalemate. 10 more minutes, and then I said, how about we split the Daikon? Am I saying that right? And the cost. And then for 10 minutes after that, we played 10 arousing rounds. Rousing? I said arousing. Rock, paper, scissors to decide the fate of the Daikon. Fuck you. The radish. I'm just in case you say radish. Eventually going 5v5. That's a tie. And now I was pushing a shopping cart for the first time ever since I'd come to this town. The cart rolled noisily down, complaining with every motion. And in was my radish, which by now was getting warm, still in 1 or 2 pieces. Radish is cold. Hey, Mr. Miyaguchi, is there anything you don't like to eat? Why are you talking in a very deep voice? Other than liver and chives, I'll eat anything. Liver and chives, got it. Okay then, today's menu will be liver and chives stir fry. I slapped Minori's head. Man, but that sound was satisfying. Music to my ears. Ow, you're the lowest of the low, hitting a girl like that. Did you ever listen to a word I said? I told you I don't eat liver or chives, didn't I? Shut up, thou shalt eat my liver and chives stir fry. Thou art sorely mistaken. It wasn't the first time in my life that I had grocery staff look at me like they were hoping I'd just disappear. And that sentence just kind of ends. I'm a fucking nuisance. So, my folks aren't in town today, said Minori after the battle of the radish, and after we decided to precisely split the loot in my place. My fetish for radish. Okay, let me explain what I'm feeling just then. I am what I am, a guy. So, of course, all the blood in my body started heading someplace south. Uh-oh. She's underage! Even though it was Minori who was talking about here. But then Minori followed up with something that made me realize that, wait a minute, I was in mortal danger. Is there any chance of you treating me to dinner? And the only thing I could think of was that man. If she kept behaving this way, there was no way in hell anyone was gonna marry her later in life. Fuck you. But of course I didn't say that out loud. I simply told her no, absolutely not. I was going to treat her to anything. I wasn't gonna do that. I'm a fucking idiot, I'm sorry. I'm fucking stupid. I was just a big stupid idiot. I'm just thinking like it's I don't like the tension here. She is, after all, in high school. And she kept wheeling and kneeling and wheeling. And I kept shaking my head, of course. But finally she proposed, oh, we don't buy the stuff. I'll cook dinner later. I relented. Apparently, Minori's cooking was highly regarded in the neighborhood. She had to get good at it because both her parents were always away on business trips. This had the potential to work out well. We had this penny pinching 60 yen radish grabbing shrine maidenly and the evening's high school girl who actually cared more about her wallet than anything else in the world. So as for me, well, my cooking skills were far below what you could call elementary. So any opportunity to eat good home cooking was appreciated. So after negotiations were concluded, we established the evening's plans. Tonight, Mason's Miguchi would host the guest. Iron Maiden urged Chef Minori Kamikaze. I bet. Around us, grocery carts clattered by. Chilly air from the refrigeration units brushed my feet like a fucking idiot. Minori went about picking and choosing items. I couldn't even tell what she was basing her choices on. I was just watching her in action. Well now, what would be good to make? Hey, Mr. Miyaguchi, anything in particular you want to eat? I don't care, as long as there's no liver or chives involved. Rejected! Her retort clammed, blazing out at a speed of light. And in the time it took me to bristle any annoyance, she already moved on to loading yet more ingredients into my cart. Fuck you. Dough, my dear. So don't you fear. Dough, my dear? A drop of golden egg. Me, your chef, for all I care. Fa, you're gonna kneel. What a fucking loser. I had no freaking clue why she was singing now. And anyway, the words certainly didn't match the fish sauce as she was putting into the basket. Mr. Miyaguchi! Mr. Miyaguchi! Someone tugged at my sleeve. For a second I thought it was some little kid. Nope, it was Minori. What's up? Premium tuna cuts are on sale. Come on, you gotta buy us some. I glanced at the price sticker. Premium tuna cuts, 2,980 yen a piece. You think I'm paying for that? But that's such a good price for such fine tuna. They haven't even cut me a fine first paycheck yet. Fuck you. I'm not paying for it. If I buy this, I'm gonna have to live with rice and water for the rest of my days. I hurled out of the full seafood section. Minori followed me out with an air, I'm so fucking tired. I'm so tired. She kept turning back to look at the tuna. Sure seemed like she really adored the stuff. You want the tuna pretty badly, huh? Yep. It was impressive, actually. I'd never seen a girl driven to such heights of passion and such depths of misery at the mere sight of a piece of food before. And then, my imagination shifted gears. Is it possible that maybe Minori comes from the poor family? So poor that she even had to take a part-time job, even during freaking middle school to help support the family. Is something wrong, Mr. Miyaguchi? Misoguchi. That's his name. That would explain everything. Oh, that's me. That's my inner thoughts. That's why she made me pay for all the food. That's why she did battle over me over the radish. That's why she wants the tuna so bad. I get it now. Of course, normal tuna is only 2,300 yen, but Minori must be so poor she couldn't even afford ever to eat that. She was looking at me all funny now. She seemed like your average everyday girl, but she had probably met or overcome many hardships. Just imagining all of this made me flush with shame. Minori, my bad, I'm sorry. Is something the matter, Mr. Miyaguchi? You feeling okay? She seemed completely thrown by my change of mood. Gently as I could, I put my hand on her head. When I get paid, I'll buy some for you. How's that sound? Oh, really? Her face brightened, like I had thrown a switch. I can't really do anything for you aside from saying this. Minori, no matter how difficult things are, you must never let circumstances defeat you. Ugh, damn it. Why were tears coming out of my eyes right now? Well, if you insist, sure, I guess. It's alright, Minori. You don't have to say anything. You can count on me. And after that, I got to hear all about how Minori was actually from a pretty well-off family, and how a promise was a promise, thus I owed her a tuna now. I needed to Hulk smash things into tiny pieces. What? But I ended up switching my face futilely at a lot of nothing. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm mad. Because I was like shaming her for being poor. That's my fault. Should have asked. Why are you such a wet sandwich? I cursed the dark day upon which I had been born. I hated my life right now. I despised my miserable existence, and my wild, desperate movements met nothing but empty, mocking air. All right, you drama queen. We started on the walk from the supermarket back to my place. Night had fallen, like some dark blanket draping over the entire town. As soon as we were past the train station, everything instantly fell quiet. We, too, were the only people around, and we walked on, our path illuminated by the harsh lights of street lamps. You know, most people say that they hate certain foods without ever having actually tried them, said Minori as she held onto my handle. Whoa, I fucked up. As she held onto one handle of the grocery bag. Her power of persuasion in convincing me that she was up to any decent purpose, about as poor as I mistaken her wallet to be. I was holding the other handle of the bag. Oh, and as for its contents, lots of food. That, one Minori liked. Two, I hated. There does not exist a person on God's green earth who can do anything good with liver and chives. Man, did your parents drop you one too many times when you were a baby or something? Minori, don't BS me. You chose those foods based on how disgusted I looked when I saw them, didn't you? I'd seen her smile before, but all of those smiles faded in comparison to the way she was grinning as she answered. Oh yeah, absolutely. The sound of fists on skull rang through the May sky. A few moments later, the sound was repeated, this time on a different skull. Did I punch you? You're so normal. I suppose that wasn't good or wasn't actually good or bad, but somehow she made it sound like a condemnation of the deepest pits of filth. Now that's talent. Oh wow, I've never seen a room this lacking in personality. It's so completely unremarkable. As I left, I instantly forgot being here. Minori, get out. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm joking. This is completely gorgeous. I want to come in and admire it more. She said it with a complete lack of conviction or honesty. Then she set the groceries on the floor. Hee. Is this your bedroom? I see. I can't believe I just said that. I want to kick myself in the balls. Why did I do that? She wandered around through my shoebox. Wasn't much to wander around in, though my shoebox. The ribbon on her uniform moved with her. I have to say, this was most definitely not a scene that I had ever thought might one day grace my room. She kept looking around for a bit. When I thought about it, the concept of living alone was probably all pretty unusual to someone of her age. Alright, then I'm gonna start cooking, okay? Oh, and speaking of which, where do you keep your knives? Planning on stabbing me to death? Why was that your first thought? I sighed, and I showed her where I kept the knives, a few seasonings, and a frying pan. Whoa, you've only got one dicky portable burner? That's it? This is gonna be hard. She went from laughing about my apartment to grumbling about the state of my lack of a kitchen and nothing flat. The flame was too weak. There weren't enough plates. The stovetop was dirty. Her complaint list went on and on. I turned the TV on against her commentary. In a moment, I was watching a variety show. How nice not being verbally abused every moment. I focused on it as if it was some special treat after my long, tiring day. Pretty soon I was hearing sounds of chopping coming from the kitchen. Are you done yet? It's only been 5 minutes. Be patient, alright? Good meals come to those who wait. I turned my attention back to the TV. I sank down into the Sophie. Sophie! Down into the Sophie! I could feel the day's weariness seeping out from every cell in my body. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired too, I'm not gonna lie. I did have a long day. From my seat I could hear the sounds of the kitchen. A knife was tapping at the cutting board and oil was sizzling as it danced about in the frying pan. They were reassuring sounds, comforting sounds. The gods themselves must be jealous right now. I mean, really, I was doing nothing on a sofa while a meal was being prepared for me. Now that I no longer lived with my parents, I had forgotten how this felt. Mr. Mizoguchi? Minori came over, hoisting a wooden spatula, which looked weird against her school blazer, fucking Yo! What's up? Do you mind if I use instant miso? You only have one pot, so I don't think I can make it from scratch. That would be great. And Minori, what's on the menu? Not telling you just yet. You just sit tight and look forward to Miss Minori's homemade cooking. Alright? In saying so, she whipped out a package of liver and a bundle of chives from the grocery bag. I had no words. They'd been taken from me, like my choice in the matter of my dinner. I've got... Oh shit, my mic's gonna fall. It got real peaceful and quiet around here, with the same kind of silent despair held by someone sitting on the death row, just waiting on the firing squad. And in a total exercise in cognitive dissonance, the miserable, condemned man smiled as if he was happy. Oh, right. Hey, Mr. Miyaguchi, don't you have an apron somewhere? The super cute pink one with lots of frills, if you please. One super cute pink apron with frills coming right up. What? You actually have one? I was joking. Man, for a moment there I thought you were some kind of deviant after all. Anyway, do you have an apron at all? Men don't bother with aprons. They just burp and fart everywhere. Like man. Oh fine, whatever. I guess I'll just have to make sure I don't get oil on my uniform. Kick it up a notch. Bam! I kept an eye on Minori as she walked back into the kitchen. From my vantage point, I watched her peel potatoes with a knife. She was making it look ridiculously easy. And having witnessed her skill, my expectations for dinner went way up. Expectations? What the fuck is wrong with me? What? Ugh! Idiot! So stupid! Minori gave me a sort of wandering look, then immediately turned her attention back to cooking. I surveyed the situation once more. The scenario felt almost unreal. I had never thought or fantasized even once about a high school girl in my kitchen making me dinner. Yep, in fact, you might even be able to say that this was... Something the matter? A sure sign that the gods have graced this man with a great blessing. Except, I wasn't feeling good about this. At all. Why, you ask? First of all, Minori was only here for a free meal. No more, no less. I hope you're getting all nice and hungry. It'll be another 20 minutes. Just take it easy until then, alright? Second of all, and more importantly, the vague whiffs of the food I hated most were exploding inside my nostrils like stink bombs. So I didn't even have a shred of optimism left regarding this night. If you'd taken a picture of the scene, though, it could have landed in Wedding Bliss Monthly. If it weren't for the fact that the loving wife in the kitchen was, on purpose, making the foods, but her husband hated it the most in the world. Fuck you. This was all too ironic and strange, and all too messed up, but kind of warm and fuzzy at the same time. Dude, calm down. I've never had liver. I've heard liver's actually pretty good. And chives don't really taste like anything. I mean, they're like seasoning, but like they're like a garnish. Like garnish, they have like a minty flavor to them, but I mean they're just there for like decoration. They don't really taste like much. I guess chives do have like a unique taste in them. Not really. He's overreacting, obviously, but... The sounds in my apartment, Minori's cheerful hums, the program on TV, and the sizzle of chives sauteing those chives. For my apartment, this was downright rowdy. The show was featuring musical groups. Every so often, Minori would poke her head out with a little comment. I like all of these guys' songs. This girl's pretty arrogant. I hate her. So on and so forth. For a girl who played piano so softly and gently, she was turning out to have a hell of a lot loud opinions about pop music. I, on the other hand, had absolutely no interest in music for its own sake. The music played on, and the show's host droned on. It all went in one ear and out the other. This next speech is from the recent film adaptation of a fucking book. Yo, read this book. My eyes popping out. Got Lord Minori out of the kitchen yet again. Oh, I remember that book I recommended to you. That book? You don't read? You don't look like the person doesn't read. Actually, I don't know. You play the piano. This song is the ending's theme. Fuck. I couldn't remember even the name of the film, but I did have a vague memory of being recommended one. It was like someone's friend died or something. They always play the Eurobeat mix. I like the piano version better, though. She explained that there existed an electronic mix and the piano version of the song, but techno was far more popular, which she thought was the bad sign of the times. Europeep's the bomb! For all the hate she professed, when the song started, she started humming along anyway. It seemed like she liked the core melody well enough. Anytime end or start, you'll always be here in my heart. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the new spin. The new spin stops here. Welcome to the situation room. We've got a great program for you today. Our reporter has gone on site. It's the police station. Interview famous detective. Something about the Yakuza. Who gives a shit? Minori snapped her mouth shut mid-song and gave a little glare before changing the channel. Mr. Miyaguchi, you're a cruel man. And here I was, serenading you with a passionate song from the bottom of my heart. Minori, focus on dinner, please. Sheesh, if you don't like my lovely singing voice, you're lost, I guess. Minori patted back. To the fucking kitchen, grumbling the entire way. Operation Filtrate the police station complete. Look, there's some dude, muscular guy. Ooh, he's our detective. Ooh, he's confiscating me with his bare hands. Ooh, why is this man so gay? Whoa, be still, my heart. What a vigorous grip he's got. Be still, my heart. Thank you for all watching. He's got me from behind. What's that term when someone like expeditionist or something? Where like they just like exposing themselves and that's just it? Like not a nudist. I don't know actually. What the fuck? There were more than 2 items on the food on my table, man. Well, that was a first. The evening dinner was Mason Miyaguchi's featured tonight. Rice and miso, saltine liver and chives, beef and potato stew, omelet rolls, down, spinach and sesame seed salad, down, pickled cucumber slices, down. In fact, more than 5 dishes all told. Each one a masterpiece. Each one too magnificent to be graced by this humble table of the humble abode. Minori. She was sitting at the right side of my narrow little table and scooped out rice into dishes. Besides, I didn't have enough rice bowls. Truly, a smile really sight. I think I'm. Hold on. Minori, please cook for me every day. No way, such a bother. It only took her 0.3 seconds to dash my proposal upon the sharp rocks of her rejection. Farewell, thou all too brief flame of love. Oh well, I guess I can live with that. Minori, I'm honestly amazed. You really are a good cook. I don't know what to say to that. She seemed to appreciate the praise. For me, utterly inept at cooking at all, she seemed very much like a legendary hero at the moment. Well then, let's dig in before it gets cold, Oh yes, let's. Bon appetit. First stop, the liver and chives thing. Well, first stop in terror, and second turn for the other way. So I went to town on those omelets and rolls instead. Well, how's it taste? Minori, will you marry me? If not, can you be my housekeeper and cook? Screw that. I have no intention of throwing away my life for the sake of your stomach. That's a once-in-a-lifetime marriage proposal, you know. Maybe you shouldn't make such light of it. Says the idiot who makes such once-in-a-lifetime proposal so lightly in the first place. Second rejection of the night. I drowned my sorrows in the stew. She added soy sauce and sweet wine in quantities that perfectly complemented and enhanced the natural taste and substance of the beef. The stew even improved the rice that we ate it with. Isn't it funny how good beef stew will make you look at a girl and go, man, she can cook? Very true. What? Having eaten this, I hereby class change you from weird pianist shrine maiden to weird pianist shrine maiden, who nevertheless can cook up a storm. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's ridiculously easy to make. As long as they got some basics down, anyone can crank this out. Not to brag, but my personal piece de resistance is canned vegetable soup. Canned vegetable beef soup if I'm feeling adventurous. That's a piece of de cease and desistance, not resistance. I picked up another omelet roll with my chopsticks even before I'd finished chewing the one in my mouth. Hey, Mr. Miyaguchi, you're eating way more than your share of those. Leave some for me, will ya? Take it out on my share of the liver. Please, take it all, with my compliments. You can't reject it. I made it for your sake. All my feelings for you are cooked into this dish. I'm smelling a lot of hatred then. Well, anyway, just try it. One bite is all that I ask. No, seriously, you're wasting your time here. I refuse. This isn't going in my mouth. You're being stubborn, alright then. Oh, you're being stubborn. Alright then. If that's the case, I'm just gonna have them sweeten the pot, One serving coming right up. With that, Minori picked up a piece of liver stir-fry from her chopsticks. Say ah. Maybe I was just imagining it, but there was something insanely frightening about her smile. Sure, to an outside observer, this might have seemed just a charming little scene, just a charming little thing. But to me, it was pure torture. I shook my head, with my mouth clamped shut. I have your openings. I burped once and then I burp again. It would be down the hatch with a horrible liver stir-fry. Now, I'm terribly sorry to all of you out there who love this stuff, but I just can't stand liver or chives. It makes me shiver just thinking about it. So there we were. She was facing me down, brandishing an instrument of torture, pinched between her chopsticks. Come on, Mr. Mizoguchi. Open up now. I held firm in my rejection. Okay then, you asked for it. Minori grabbed my jaw hard from her left hand, and was now pulling with all of her strength. I felt like someone was trying to pry my mouth open with a crowbar. I swear, her strength was not that of a girl. It was like that of Gordon Freeman. With my revulsion and all my will, couldn't do a thing against such brute force. My jaw was starting to open. I couldn't make a coherent protest, so I let out a worthless grunt of terror. Into my helpless open mouth went a piece of liver sautéed with chives. You liked it. You liked it. You know what they say? You don't know what you'll hate something if you never try it. Well, now I know for sure. How did things end up like this exactly? That was the only thing going through my head as I looked at Minori. She was giggling like some crazed maniac, striking the table every once in a while. The table and the several cans of beer on top of it were shuddering violently in protest. Was she drinking? Oh, and by the way, most of those cans were empty. Minori made sure of that. Can you drink? This is in Japan, right? I don't know what the laws are. This is kind of, how did things end up this way exactly? I started to remember what happened earlier. The events came back one by one. After I'd collapsed from the abomination that had entered my mouth by force, things got a bit more peaceful. Satisfied and well fed from the delicious meal, we sat down to relax, and enjoy some TV. After a while, Minori went to take care of the dishes, so I went for a shower. I came out of the shower to find Minori taking every can of beer I had out of the fridge and onto the table, with an unmistakable look of anticipation on her face. Oh man, Mr. Mizoguchi, you drink a lot. Yeah, well, this whole having a drink after a bath thing was something you expect dirty old men to do, but man, that stuff tasted great. This whole having a drink after a bath thing was something you expect dirty old men to do. What? I'm not even gonna question that. I said as much, then pulled the tab on the can. Pop fizz, I started to feel better even before I chugged it down. The refreshing drink had the sweet, yet tart bouquet of citrus fruits. The slight bite of alcohol was cool on the tongue. I luxuriated in the silky sensation of the chilled liquid. I can die happy now. No wait, I had to live to drink this. Haha, Mr. Mizuguchi, you're like an old man. What are you talking about? Millions of people love this. They can't all be wrong. Hey, Mr. Mizuguchi, is it okay if I try some, too? She asked as she held up a can with some actual interest. And that was the tipping point of the event. Okay, I got no problem with it. And maybe I was a little tipsy at the time, but I totally forgot she was underage, and I gave her my consent without a second question. I opened the can with a gleeful anticipation in her eyes, and then she took a sip. Wait, huh? That's the wrong emotion. This is pretty good. 2 sips, 3, then the whole can. Wow, I never had alcohol before. It's so good. Hey, Mr. Mizoguchi, can I have another? Somehow or other, I nodded. Hugest mistake ever. Okay, I'll stop from here. I was going on for like an hour and 10 seconds. I don't know. I'm already getting winded, so yeah. See you.